So he's going to come in with a little bit more speed, a little bit more intensity, right, to see if this works under pressure. Okay. So the key here is not speed, it's all really about timing. All right, so for today, Justin and I want to explore how to make these techniques work by, instead of focusing on the technique that Lena shows in her videos, we're going to focus on the principles behind those techniques.
Hi, this is Ramsey Dewey at the JX Fight Club. I'm the MMA coach here. This is one of my students, Nils, and today we are going to try out some techniques from a self-defense video that we saw on the internet, and we're really excited to see how these techniques work against a resisting opponent. All right, here we go.
What's up, guys? My name is Lena Marty, here with Rip Fitness to teach you guys a few moves on self-defense. Pin hold. So you want to block, you want to kick him away as you roll.
In like an open guard position, right? He's got my wrists, and so I'm going to brace against your legs and go and resist me as you would if we were really fighting, okay? That's exhausting. Right. I didn't have much success. Maybe Nils will do better. I'm going to put my mouth guard on for this one.
So the first technique that was showed is called the pinned hold, and we'll kind of demonstrate what that kind of looks like. So down on the ground. So the pinned hold looks like this. And what Lena talks about in her video, she says that with, you want to use your one leg to block, and I'm going to kind of correct that. We don't like to use the word block, but more like guard or shield or cover. So we have a specific word for this called tutoku, and we're going to go into that principle because I think that's one of the key ones. From here, she talks about kicking and then rolling away, right? This idea, right? So just kind of a shrimp technique. So the principle we want to focus on for this particular technique is called tutoku, and tutoku translates to sword shield. So you're using, and it comes from the samurai tradition, where they would use their sword as a shield against the attacker. So let's grab a couple swords. We'll demonstrate what that kind of would look like. So I'm going to have in this case, my shield down. So I've got like an opening here. And Justin might choose to come in, and I'm not going to move. I'm just going to let him attack however he might want to attack, right? So what a tutoku looks like is something like this. You put the sword in between you and the next attack, and that's one of the key things is wherever that next attack is coming from, that's what you want to do. And if we take away the sword, let's just demonstrate that maybe at more escalation phase. So he's going to come in with a little bit more speed, a little bit more intensity, right, to see if this works under pressure. Okay. So the key here is not speed, it's all really about timing. I think that's the most important thing that we need to talk about when it comes to this stuff. The other important principle with tutoku is that you're not putting it between you and the first attack. Let's say we're going to do like a jab punch, jab cross scenario, right? So I'll just let you do the jab and then the cross, boom. All right, so I have my shield down here, and when that initial punch comes in, I could use it, but I'm not necessarily going to be worried about this one, because this one I'm probably going to use my footwork to get out of the way. I'm mostly concerned about that second one. So first one comes in, if I'm here and I'm blocking that second one, so if I'm focused on the first one, what I'm trying to get across here is the importance of realizing that that second one is the one that's the most dangerous, right? So I don't want to block because that kind of opens me up. I want to create a shield against the second punch, right? So go ahead and do this as fast as you want, right? So I'm using this as my shield against, and I put it between me and whatever the next attack might be. In any self-defense scenario, you always want to try and avoid the situation if you can, right? So here's a drill that we practice all the time that kind of shows this concept of Totoku. Like Matt's going to be our guy. So Scott, your goal is to just try and mount this guy, maybe put a side mount on him. Good. Okay. So Justin and I will demonstrate the same exact drill. Right? So I'm here, I'm in a neutral position, right? And I'm just going to try and keep this shield up. So as he tries, his goal is to try and get around me so he can get in here, right? So I want to make sure that doesn't happen, right? So I'm going to be in here. And if he gets close, right, boom, I'm going to keep him at bay by kicking, right? Is a good example of Totoku as well, right? So come on back here. When I tried to get up, when I felt like you were kind of like done, whatever, and I wanted to come up, I'm extending this hand as well so that I'm transitioning from my foot shield to my hand shield, if that makes sense. So now what does that look like when he's doing this pinned hold? He's got me here. Number one, this is not down here. All right, so let's back up for a second. So one of the issues that I saw with this video is this idea of a resisting opponent. What does that actually mean? What is your thoughts on that?
A resisting opponent is somebody who has a goal in mind and they're set to have that happen. You know, they're not just sitting there, you know, they're being a limp noodle and just kind of letting them do whatever they want.
Right, so they have a purpose. So this idea of the pinned hold, you got to think about, well, what is the attacker's goal? What is they're not just going to sit there and hold your wrist, right? So if I'm here, like, is your goal to just hold my wrist in place like this?
No, it's probably to control you, to get you to do whatever I want to.
So for example, what would you do from here?
I could sexually assault you from here.
Just try. Right, so you have your, not block, but your shield, and that's up here. This can hit high, low, anywhere, right? So the other thing about this idea of a resisting opponent is that most of the times when you see these self-defense videos, they are doing things at isolation, right? So in a learning process, do you want to go through this real quick? Number one?
Sure. Yeah, we have isolation, and that's where, quite frankly, everybody gets stuck. A lot of people get stuck. That's learning how to, like you're in kindergarten, you're learning how to draw an A, and you trace it out.
Right.
That's the isolation phase.
Most techniques are demonstrated that way so people can learn, right? It would be very similar to like if you're playing music, it's learning your notes, right? You're just learning your notes. You're not actually playing a song yet, you're just learning a note, right? And then when you get better and you get the technique, you might be playing a particular verse, but you're not playing a song yet, you're not really composing any music, you're just learning, right? So after phase one, we have phase two, which is coordination.
Coordination. Starting to put a sentence together. T-H-E. Now you're starting to learn how to connect all these small pieces and the principles that kind of go into them.
Yeah, we're going to just really highlight this because our next future videos, we're going to go into detail about all these and demonstrate each one of these. But the point I wanted to make on this is from phase two, we got phase three was integration. So we're going to integrate all of the techniques that you've learned now and then utilize them against different types of attack, right? So you're going to do that same technique that you're trying to learn and do it against a bear hug or a wrist grab or a punch or a kick, and then you start to integrate it, right? The last phase is escalation, right? So that's where you get like a resisting opponent is escalation. So what you have here is you have one person who's doing phase 4, escalation, while you have the other person demonstrating and doing phase 1. So that doesn't really work. You can't have one person in phase 1 while the other one's in phase 4. Let's get back to the technique. It's a wrist pin, right? So number one of your legs is you're putting it here in between you and that next threat, which is his whole body, right? So I'm here. So this can be here, and once again, she says kick and roll away, not press and do this, right? That's not what the technique is. That would never work. Of course, that's not going to work. So if he's resisting, right, and I try that, I just go here, right? That's not going to work. But if he tries to give me a real attack, escalation phase, right? So what are you going to try and do? You're not going to just hold my wrist there. You're going to try and move, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not going to just sit here. I'm going to move too, right? And get away, right? So guys, it's that simple. Just follow the principles. Set up a shield, kick, and roll away, right? It's simple.